now, what's up, people? You're listening to another episode of The Giants Guys. And as usual, I'm here. I'm your host. I know you guys are probably sick of seeing me by now. That's why I bring these other guys into the show, because they're a lot more entertaining than I am. Let's bring in the guys. We're definitely going to chop up the fact that the Giants lost 27-13 to the Seahawks. We've got plenty of things to talk about. Of course, the show is brought to you by Astroflave, which we are hoping by now you have tried or you are loving it like we do. It's a new age supplement company that you cannot buy in what I would call a box store, okay? It is it's made with a lot of tender love and care right here in the state of New Jersey, astroflave.com. And if you want collagen or you want testosterone, amino acids, oh, that's right. Thank you, my assistant. Look at that. Amino acids in pink lemonade. Bang. Let's bring the guys in. Please check out Astroflave. Support the show. We love these guys. And I'm going to bring Nick in first. What's up?
Hey, Craig. Hey, everybody. How you feeling?
I don't know how I'm feeling. I'm kind of lukewarm right now. Let's get the other guys in here because they're always chipper. Let's get the Truth in here. Boom. Truth.
What's up, boys?
What's up, Michael? All right, let's see. And of course, last but not least, it is the Spartan. And I'm sure he might want to change his name after this past weekend's game, Michigan State versus Michigan. We now have eight suspended players, but we were not here to talk about that.
That's right, Craig. Let's not even bring it up. And in fact, let's try to delete that when we post that on YouTube tomorrow, because I don't want anyone to remember what happened this past weekend.
Exactly.
Giants Nation, what's going on? A little bit more disappointing than the Spartan loss is, of course, the Giants loss. But, you know, we had to lose one way or another. Eventually, we had to lose. So
Yes. So, again, thanks for everybody jumping in. I see you guys piling in the room. Thanks for watching another episode of the Giants Guys. Of course, you guys know you can follow these guys on Twitter. You can go check us now on our new Instagram account, which is NYGiants_Rush. Nikki's giving away some kind of crazy prize pack for the 200th follower of our new channel. So we hope you guys will do that. Oh, look at that. Look, here we go. West Coast love in the room already. When I say I'm going to do something, I do it. Hey, yeah. Allie is here from the West Coast. You know what happened? She blew off her afternoon meeting and was like, I'm hanging out with Craig and the guys. So we applaud Allie, who is in sunny California. And, you know, she left work early to hang out with us. So thank you for that. What's up, Joe, Daniel? I see all you guys. Love you guys as I normally do. But what I don't love, gentlemen, is you did rush home. I'm so happy. She showing us extra love from California today. Guys, I am going to do what I always start the show off with is the top 10 things that you didn't know about your 2022 New York Giants. And then we're going to get into the fact that the Giants lost to the Seahawks, which was a very winnable game.
You're not gonna flip your hair to start the show, Craig. Give them a little show before we get into the business. Here we go.
Look at that hair.
Edward Scissorhands over here.
I think Chris and I could use some of that hair, huh, Chris?
Oh yeah. We could.
Don't hate the player, hate the game. All right. So now, what you didn't know about your 2022 New York Giants. Number one, you are going to love this one. It's actually my favorite one. 1 year ago today, on Halloween of 2021, the New York Giants were 2-6. A year later, we are 6-2. We have flipped the script. Coaching makes a difference. Number two thing that you might not know about your 2022 New York Giants is for the first time in 3 weeks, the Giants have dropped out of the top 10 power rankings. We have definitely taken a hit by losing that game this weekend. We are now ranked 11th in the power ranking. Number three, in 3 years, Graham Gano has only missed with the Giants 7 field goals. He is 80 out of 84 attempts. He is 77 of 84. That's 92%. What is super cool about this is that Graham Gano is 4 for 4 with over 50-yard kicks.
Wow.
Number 4.
You just jinxed us for the Texans game. Thanks.
Yeah, he's going to have your Seahawks 2005 game that you went to.
52-yarder. Come on.
It's also great. What's up, Neil? Greetings from the Jersey Shore. We always love to see that.
Uncle Neil.
Yeah, it's our boy Neil. Number 4 stat that you might not know about your 2022 New York Giants is that Julian Love leads the team in tackles with 54. He's on pace for 115 tackles. The last time that was done by a New York Giants safety, was in 2016 of Landon Collins. So it has been some time. Before that, of course, I didn't want to go too deep into the weeds, but before that, it was Antrell Roll. So we are getting a lot of support. You're right. I'm going to throw that up there because Allie is our super participating fan right now. Bang. He is killing it. And by the way, I don't want to get too sidetracked, but he is killing it. He's actually having a Pro Bowl year, playing better than McKinney, believe it or not. Number 5 stat that you might not know about your 2022 New York Giants is Nick Gates has returned this past Sunday after 410 days off and 7 surgeries.
Whoa.
That is something to applaud
Yeah.
because we all know that last time we've seen anything happen like that was Richie Soibert,
Right.
back in those 2007 to 2011 years. Richie broke his tibia, and he came back, believe it or not, as a tight end and then a guard and then a center. So nice to have Nick Gates back. Really great story. Number 6. No, that was 6. Sorry, my bad. Number 7. Things that you might not know about your 2022 New York Giants. Darius Slayton this past week had 6 targets, 5 receptions for 66 yards with an average of 13.2, 21 long. It is his best statistical output since his rookie year, and he is on pace to have his best year as a New York Giant right now. So there is a little bit of hope out of your wide receiver core. Number 8 stats that you might not know about your 2022 New York Giants is that, believe it or not, David Sills has caught a ball in 7 of 8 straight games. Outside the Tennessee Titan game, which he did not have a catch, he has caught a pass in every single game for 7 straight games. So for a guy that was a practice squad guy, got cut, resigned, I got to tell you, for what it's worth, we already know that, he's a lower rung, in the talent pool when it comes to NFL wide receivers. But if you throw the ball, he catches the ball, right? So I applaud David Sills for making sure that he gets a grab every single week. Number 9 stat that you might not know about your 2022 New York Giants is that Micah McFadden, who I was tweeting about earlier in the week, I think you guys might have seen it.
Yeah.
Or actually, it was probably late last week, actually. Micah McFadden, who was blanked the last 2 weeks with no play time, came back with a vengeance with 4 tackles and a sack on very limited snap count. So when he is in the game, and I know Zane was complaining about our middle linebackers, I got to tell you, when McFadden's in the game, he does make things happen. I don't know, if it's just a scheme thing, but I like the fact that the rookie came in, had 4 tackles and a sack, on his first, opportunity to play after 2 weeks. Number 10, which is a little bit on the embarrassing side, but I need you guys to understand where we stand from a pressure sacking the quarterback standpoint. That Dexter Lawrence, it leads the Giants in sacks with 4, and he ranks number 32 in the NFL. We do have an issue with sacking the quarterback, okay? Without Ojulari, it's definitely noticeable that we are not, while we're getting, for you stat guys, pressures, woo, okay? I don't love pressures. You know what a pressure is? As soon as you snap the ball and you cross the line of scrimmage, it's a pressure. It's garbage. We need finishers, okay? And as much as I love Tibbs, he did not have a great game this past weekend. We are not sacking the quarterback. And if we are literally, after 8 games, our defensive tackle leads the team in sacks, which is only 4 and ranks 32 in the NFL, it's not great, guys. It's definitely not great.
That's not going to change.
Yeah, that's got to change. That wraps up your 10 things that what you did not know about your 2022 New York Giants. Can I hear a golf clap for that? That was pretty good, right?
Round of applause, Craig.
Yeah.
All right, let's dig in, guys. let's just start off real quick with a recap. We lose to the Seattle Seahawks. I was a firm believer that the Giants were going to win this game. I was very disappointed with the lackluster offensive output. I'm going to start with you, Chris. What was your overall feeling? Because I thought the defense played good enough to win that game. And of course, we're going to get into the special teams blunder. But just what did you think about the offense? Like, what did you see or not see?
I think the offense, well, going into the game, I didn't have a great feeling. I thought it was a 50-50. I didn't have I was kind of right down the middle. But I think the offense just couldn't get on track, right? It just felt like they were sputtering throughout the whole game. And if not for the fumble by Lockett, I mean, who knows if they even get another score in there. So
great point.
I felt like they abandoned the run early. Like they didn't go to the run early, right? It was a little time before they went right to the run. I feel like they should have been hammering Barkley maybe a little bit earlier in the game. I do know that they kind of played it the same way like they did with Jacksonville, throwing a little bit off on that first drive. Ironically, this was the first game where they went 3 and out, 3 drives in a row. And the last time that happened was 2017, ironically, or 2016 with Geno. So that was the last time that's happened. So I just feel like they gave up on the run earlier on. They should have stuck with it a little sooner.
Agreed. In case you people didn't catch it today, I wrote a piece. I write a piece every week called Java with Jones. I break down Jones in the offense. And Spartan, my big thing this week was, as Chris just alluded to, we all know that the main weapon on this team is Saquon Barkley. And if they're not going to run the ball, they at least throw to him. I mean, he had 3 catches for 9 yards. They just kind of felt like they abandoned Barkley. Yeah. And then on top of that, I thought Barkley wasn't, and I actually saw a tweet that you sent out, which I agreed with. He wasn't running like the way he's been running with low pad level and bursting through the hole. He seemed a little tentative.
He looked the way that he started out the 2021 season before he went down. Like he was taking way too long to make decisions. He didn't quite have a motor on him. There was a play that was especially disappointing, and like he had all day to get to the outside.
Pitch, right? The pitch.
Yeah, the pitch to get to the outside, which on a normal day for him would have been, first down and then some. Clearly had a great game against Jacksonville. And then, he looked, we were down at the goal line there. There were 2 plays there that, he didn't score on the first one. We almost didn't score on the second one either. Someone tells me he was a little tweaked, and nobody reported it, and nobody said anything. He decided to play. There's no mention of it in the media. I definitely have a feeling that he was just slightly hurt, and the bye week's going to do him very well. I would have liked to have seen them perhaps pass out to Saquon a little bit more. They didn't really utilize him in that sense very much. They just kept on sticking with the run. But yeah, I don't think it was going to be a very successful day for Saquon overall, just based on the way that he was playing. And I will say another contributing factor to the offense, I'm going to give the Seahawks fans a lot of credit here. It was really freaking loud at that stadium. You could totally tell. There were a lot of times there. They didn't even call false start, but certain guys were getting off the line of scrimmage faster than the other guys were. And it just looked like you had that factored in with the fact that, they're down receiver. Saquon looks a little tweaked. I'll tell you one area that I actually liked on the offense, aside from the run blocking. I thought the offensive line actually did pretty good. I didn't really see Jones running around for his life back there. He had some time in the pocket. It's just, guys wouldn't get open. And I don't really know if they ran the right scheme.
You do realize he got sacked 5 times, right?
He got sacked 5 times?
I thought the Giants had 5 sacks. I guess there's a misprint, huh?
No, you look at the box score. They counted 5. They have 5 sacks.
And the Giants had 3, right? That's what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Truth, what did you see that maybe,
I thought he had way more time than that, man. Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, 5 sacks. Jeez.
Listen, Spartan, he got sacked 2 times to end the game. So there's 2 right there.
There you go. I turned off my TV at the end, so.
Yeah. Truth. Night and day compared to what we've seen. Barkley hitting the hole fast and hard, and even to the fact that, like, I know they missed Bellinger's, receiving and blocking ability. I'm sure that was a big thing. I did not think Phillips had a good day. He had a couple false starts. He had a couple holes.
Yep.
Like, I didn't think he had a good day. And do you think that maybe gets in Barkley's head that Neal's not there, so he starts maybe running, tentative?
I don't know. I'm not in his head, but I will say that Spartan was right about the way Barkley was running. Very hesitant, very unsure. not concise with his cuts. But I will say, the Giants, really, aside from Jacksonville, are notorious for slow starts, and it's catching up with them. They got to somehow find a way to have better starts, else it's not going to be always fun to come back and win games in fourth quarters.
100%. Listen, I don't want anybody to forget too. We have been giving away, thanks to Crypto Freeze, our good friend on Twitter. If you're not following him, check him out. So he has donated like $250 to the NY Giants Rush Crew, and I went out and bought a whole bunch of T-shirts, all different colors, sizes. I got one right here to show you guys. Check them out.
Yeah, that's a great.
Right. So I got all new T-shirts, and I actually have a couple of hoodies too. So the best question of the day, at the end of the show, we will and Nikki might. Hey, what's up, Jake? What's up, Mason? What's up, Mark? I see you guys jumping in. So I already think I owe Brad and I think Mark and Joe. I think prize packs too. So whoever has the best question will vote it at the end of the show, and we'll give away some great gear. And you are right, 100%. All three of you guys are right. The offense looked off. It didn't look like it was in sync. And I'm sorry that, listen, I know Kafka's a rookie OC, and it showed this week, guys. It showed because Saquon Barkley is a dual threat that they're not using. Like the last time I checked, to be a dual threat, you have to throw the guy the ball.
Yeah, give him the ball. Give him the ball.
If I could add something, they took away that play fake. I mean, they were spreading those ends wide to take away that play action fake or that boot. So that took away. And Barkley with that shoulder, right? I mean, they're probably not talking about it too much, but I'm sure that's affecting him from a week ago in Jacksonville when he hurt that shoulder.
And another thing, you got to give Seattle credit. I mean, this Creek just pointed out, they had a great game plan and they executed it. They stayed in their lanes. They played good, solid football.
So let's talk about that. Great game plan doesn't mean you just curl up in a ball and go to sleep.
No,
right? Like we didn't run any draws. We didn't run any screens. We didn't roll out. So
you know what it reminded me of, Craig? It actually didn't. Like I was like, you know what? This doesn't remind me of Garrett. It actually kind of reminds me of Kevin Gilbride in the games that they would have back in the day. That just sometimes he would have game plans, especially against the Eagles, that just never made sense. And we were doing plays that just were consistently not working, and just just failure to really draw up a plan that's going to work.
Yeah, listen, sometimes I saw this interview with Charlie Weiss, who used to be Patriots, Giants. Also the head coach at Notre Dame. Yeah, he always Mike, you're killing me with that ice, buddy. What do you call it? He's I'm like, Mike, what are you doing? So what do you call it? Tells this story about how they had a game plan that wasn't working, and he went to Parcells and he went like this. Yo, we're throwing this out and we're going to no huddle. And can we do it? And Parcells like, do whatever you got to do, but score some freaking points. You know what I mean? So it is 100% right there, Spartan. Like, it didn't work, but it didn't seem like they shifted any gears. Like, I was going, where's the rollout? Where's the screen? Where's the draw? Like, nothing was there. And yes, truth, 100% they're going to get credit. They had a great game plan, and they shut down Barkley, But, I mean, for the love of God, come up with something else, anything. Like, right. we gave up. And I so overall that was a winnable game because the defense for the first half looked dynamite.
Defense could have kept us in the game to win, but even if Richie James didn't fumble twice, I actually still feel like we would have lost, but it probably would have been a 4-point game.
So let's segue to the Richie James.
Do we have to?
Well, we do because
I might have to turn off my TV again.
Yeah, don't be turning us off there, Spartan. Here's my thing, Spartan. We keep this coach, this special teams coach from regime to regime to regime. Somehow this guy has dirty pictures on people because he keeps getting a job with the New York Giants, and our special teams still suck. I mean, I'm sorry, but he cost us 14 points, right? And I don't know.
It was 10.
How many? Was it 10?
Yeah, I thought it was 10, those two turnovers, wasn't it? Field goal and a touchdown?
And a field goal?
I thought so.
Field goal touchdown, I thought.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's 10
and
points.
A blocker, yep.
10 points. You know, that means it's a 17-13 game without Richie James dropping the ball on the carpet. Spartan, like, you know, he drops one, you send him back out there. I mean, remember David Wilson dropped the ball and Coughlin put him on the bench for like 2 weeks.
It's so infuriating because you saw when he first caught that one, the first one, like it bobbled in his arms for a second. You just say to yourself, something's off today with that guy. And he's also wearing that sleeve at first, which is like does not have any solid control of that football. You know, they're playing in Seattle there. It looked damp. Why didn't they just waive the fair catch? Just say screw it, especially that.
Yeah, but you can't do that because he had plenty of time to catch the ball, and you got to keep in mind, you know, you talk about the turnovers. You know, the Giants didn't get that turnover. They only scored 6 points in the whole game. So technically it'd be a 17-6 game. Giants would have lost. If you want to be
and the bigger picture with James, this is his third punt. He fumbled one against Chicago, and luckily it didn't come back to haunt him. So
that's true.
I think it's time to move on from James. These games are too close to risk a fumble on a punt return. This is a team
that is just so small. We can't afford mistakes like that. We couldn't afford one muffed punt, let alone two. I mean, every single game. One of the things that's really enabled the Giants to get out of these games alive is the
by the way,
detail.
We ended the season with Bachman returning kicks and punts, and he did fantastic.
Yeah, he did fine. He did a good job.
Hey, like holds on to the football. That's what you want.
Yeah, it's just mind numbing because that's your only job. Like, is make sure you secure the ball security. Like, and the second one, he just got blasted and he just dropped it. Like, I mean, look, he's a fragile cat to begin with. Okay, like, so why? And this is what bothers me. And guys, call me crazy, Chris. Call me crazy, but
crazy.
Thank you.
You're crazy either way, man. You're crazy either way,
Greg. Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. Screws loose, nuts, whatever it is.
We love it.
All of the above. Here's the thing, Chris, that really, you know, rubs me wrong is he's like with an offense with limited offensive talent. Why would I have my second best receiver returning kicks? If he gets hurt, now you are literally going to war with Slayton, Sills, and what's it, Marcus? Is it Marcus Johnson?
Marcus Johnson. Well, I think when you look to the punt return game, you really only have Darnay Holmes. Maybe they don't feel confident in him because he's a DB. You have Adoree Jackson. You're not going to put your number one corner to return punts. And you have Slayton, who's your number one receiver, really, who could return punts. So really it comes down to James, that's why he was brought here, is to be a special teamer. I don't think they envisioned him ever.
That's right. You know, that's why I made the team.
So it's really well, I think it's going to change. I think you're going to look to a guy like Robert Foster, possibly, who got brought back on the practice squad, maybe being elevated.
He might be able to get yards, but it's like, look, you can't. I mean, if you know he can make mistakes that easily, can't have him out there. Can't have him returning.
Yeah, I agree. That's going to be it.
I got that other kid in the practice squad too, Chris. Right? That guy
Pimpleton. Pimpleton, who came over from Detroit, right? By
the way, he was a very good returner. I don't know why they're not using him.
They might have.
He was terrific in college.
I mean, listen, it literally lost you the game, even though they weren't playing great. Yeah, and you know, and listen, we are kind of, you know, ripping it up. We are 6-2. It's a great place to be at the bye. As I mentioned earlier in the show, we were 2-6 at this time last year, so we're still in a really good place.
Yeah, we're in a good spot.
Yeah, and just analyzing the game in general, you start off very slow. Barkley doesn't get the ball. You have 2 turnovers on punts. Like, you're already digging yourself a hole. Now, defensively, you know, Adoree Jackson was having the game of his life. You know, Leonard Williams gets a sack, you know, which is good to get off the snide. Micah McFadden gets a sack. So the defense was playing well, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, you really we can't complain about being 6-2. But when you look at that game, Truth, that was a winnable game, was it not, Mike?
Yeah, but life is like even Stevens. Things even out. Giants should have lost games this year, but they came back. You know, things even out. So I look at it 6-2, move on. You know, they didn't play well as a team. So Houston, I mean.
All right, so let's talk about, and you're right, I can throw this up here. You're right, NY Giants 2020. We got it. You need a more personalized tag, by the way. NY Giants 2020. I can't work with that. What do I call you? 2022. What do I call you? NYG 22. That's too hard. Come on, help me out here. Yes. I wasn't an Adoree Jackson fan, but he has had in Wink's system, it has fit him like a glove. Not giving you an OJ reference, but it has fit him, quite easily. He definitely looks like it, Oh, wait a minute. We have look. I want you to remember this. I'm going to write it down now. Look at this question. So, per each of you, who is your biggest surprise player of the first half and why? All right, so that's a good. See, I knew she was coming prepared. She told me she was coming prepared. I'm going to write that down at 8:32 so we know where to go back. Right now, Allie's in the lead with the best question. But I will say, to scroll back through the bazillion comments in here, Jake says he got – here, let me put this up here, guys. Jake says he got robbed last week. So, Jake, you better then come with something good this week because Allie's already like way out in front.
Allie's way out ahead, guys.
Yeah, if you want to catch her, you better come with a really good question.
Hey, real quick, can I bring up one point? This is a little random, but this is something that's been really pissing me off about Kafka all year. If it's 3rd and 5, why are they throwing 4-yard routes? Or if it's 3rd and 10, they're throwing 9-yard hooks. Do you guys see this?
Yes.
It's every time they always do 1 yard short. No matter how far away we are from that first down marker, they're 1 or 2 yards short. Like, guys,
I don't blame
go over.
I don't blame that on Kafka though. I mean,
Do you think they're running bad routes? Because you can't possibly think that this is a winning situation to go short of the first down marker, right?
Yeah, I mean that's on the listen. As a wide receiver lining up at the line, you got to know where the sticks are, and you know that you've got to run 7 to catch the ball at 5. Like now, is the DB gonna give it to you? I don't know. But you have to know where the sticks are as a wide receiver. You know how you might have to run that route 2 yards deeper to get the first down because there'd be no reason why Kafka goes, hey,
back for the ball.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you would never like automatically go out there and be like, hey, don't run this for 5 yards for the first down.
So he's calling the right plays. Wide receivers are just not executing.
Yeah, well, again, like I mean, I'm sure there's a give and go, like. But you know that it's 3rd and 5. You need a first down. You better run 7 to come get the ball at 5.
Right, because this is getting frustrating. There were a couple. I mean, that happened. That was either the first or second drive. We would have gotten a first down. They just, he did a hook short.
Yeah, that's on the receiver, and that's and that's something that I'm gonna, listen. That game was winnable. We didn't win it. They came out flat, which I'm gonna segue here into guys what I wrote about today on NY Giants Rush. Please. Someone here makes sense of this for me. So, Chris, how does this make sense? We believe in GM Joe. We believe in Dabes. We believe in Kafka. And they use a 2nd-round pick, which you all gave me crap for, okay? You got to believe. We got the next Tyreek Hill.
You mean you gave us crap because you thought we got like the draft plus of the century when we got him?
Exactly.
Oh, I remember that.
Okay, and right here I have a 5'8", 170-pound receiver, Chris, who, when you look across the league, those guys are special teams only. They don't make like there's the outliers like Lockett and Tyreek Hill. There's a handful of guys. I'm not saying there isn't 4 or 5 guys out there that are small.
No, I know.
But 95% of the rest of them, special teams can't do anything. We waste a 2nd-round draft pick on a kid that's like, I know he's jacked and he's a workout freak, but he gets hurt with 1 catch in first game. He's on the shelf. He comes back. Why is he not being used? He's a 2nd-round draft pick. He had 2 catches for 15 yards this week. Like, it's pathetic. So it's either A, he's too small, Jones can't see him. B, he don't know the playbook. C, they're not packaging up right. Someone says, he's just an underneath route. Look, this is 2022. These guys clear out routes, run underneath routes, pick and rolls. They run crackback. They run all these things to get guys open if they want them. Why is Wan'Dale Robinson not getting 6-7 targets a game? Why is this literally like 2nd-round draft pick who's like literally got no impact at all? Help me.
Well, this is only 2nd game back, right? Jacksonville, he did a good job. Listen, he got 3 targets. I understand, but
he made some plays in that Jacksonville game.
Yeah, Slayton had 6 targets, so 3 more. But you're going to have to just look at the game plan. Obviously he wasn't a priority in the game plan. Kafka, I think slowly will get him more involved. It's only his second game back, so give it some time. I mean,
I do think it was a mistake not to utilize him a little bit more. Like he should be getting more targets at this point than
Thank you.
I agree. But
how is he not part of the game plan?
But that it goes what we were saying earlier on. The whole offensive, scheme on Sunday was unusual. It was just it wasn't what we all expected with the creativity, with guys in motion, moving around. We saw that all across the board. So I don't think you could just point it to Wan'Dale. We saw really a different offense than what we've seen the first 7 weeks or 8 weeks. Or 7 weeks. So I think, let's see what happens in the Texans game, right? I think things are going to open up and they're going to use them more. So let's wait and see for the next couple games.
I real quick also bring up somebody else that I actually don't think is that bad when they're going out for routes. And you guys might disagree, but Tanner Hudson, he's a serviceable backup for Bellinger with some of these routes. I mean, they got to look to him a little bit more too. I think he's more trustworthy than some of the other receivers that we were talking about.
Yeah, and Mike, he's not a good blocker. I think that's part of the reason too.
Right.
But I'd like
to
keep an eye on Lawrence Cager, who came over from the Jets practice squad. You saw that Jones missed him, but he's got some ability. I think he's going to fill in nicely for Bellinger. Even when Bellinger comes back, you're going to see him.
He can't block either, Chris.
No.
That.
But you'll see him when they go 4, or they go even 3 wide. You might see him out there with his height. He's more of a receiver.
Let's not get too far into the weeds yet on the tight ends. So like Real Cold always comes in with great comments every single week. Robinson's a little bit brittle, right? And Chris, you said, give him some time. But Spartan, I think you talked about, and Truth, you jumped on there too. Like, we don't have the luxury of waiting for guys to get great. Like, we don't have that type of luxury. Like we're playing with house money right now at 6-2. You can afford to make some mistakes, right? But the second round draft pick has to be on the field and have packages making plays. What was missing was the What do they always say about when you watch the Bills and you watch Kansas City? What do people say? Explosive plays. There's a stat line for it now. There's literally, if you're a stat junkie or a PFF guy, there's a stat line for explosive plays per game. The Giants have 0 explosive plays. And the 2 most explosive guys are supposed to be Wan'Dale Robinson and Saquon Barkley. Like,
can you explain what an explosive play is? Like, how do we define this? I don't understand.
It has a definition.
Isn't it something over 20 yards is supposed to be an explosive play? That's kind of what they're saying.
Like, I will say, like, when I was watching the Browns-Yankees game last night, I did kind of feel like I'm watching the Browns offense, like, boom, there's some explosion there. So I feel like, eye level, I'm able to, like, pick up what exactly this means. But
all right, here you go. The definition of explosive play can be defined as any pass that gains 20 yards or more, or any rush that's 10-plus yards.
All right, Chris.
So 20 yards could be after the catch, right?
No, it's 20 yards a pass or 10 for a rush.
Except for the Giants, anything over 10 yards should be explosive. They should change that. A little
plenty of explosive runs with the Jacksonville game, though. So we know it's something on their feet. It's either Jones or Saquon.
Can I interject about Robinson?
Yeah, sure. That's why you're here.
Okay. I think, like Chris says, I think Kath is going to give him more looks as we get into the second half of the season. And I think this kid right now has 12 catches right now. He only played 4 games. I think he's gonna end up leading the team wide receivers in receptions. He won't lead because Barkley. No, I'm not crazy. I said this in the beginning of the year. I think they're gonna use him more with those quick little slants, those tiny little bubble screens. He'd be perfect for that.
I never said he couldn't. I put this up because my man Tony dropped in. Thanks for hanging out, Tony. Listen, I'm not saying he can't catch or he's not dynamic. I'm saying he can catch and he is dynamic. Why is he not on the field?
Well, look, Craig, let me reel that back. He had 45 snaps on Sunday, 69% of the snaps he was in on. So is this a Kafka not getting him involved, or is this Wan'Dale not doing the routes and not getting open? So that begs the question, which let's see what happens in the Texans-Lions game, see if they get him more involved. They're watching the tape. I'm sure they're going to figure it out and try to utilize him. They have to. They have no choice. They have nobody else other than Slayton.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
And
wait a
he's
minute.
explosive with the ball in his hand. So they
Right.
got to find ways to get him the ball.
Look, you know, our girl drops in when we get anything to do with Kenny Galladay in the chat. They're talking Kenny Galladay in the chat, and we get this. Who cares if we see Kenny Galladay ever again? That's Nikki. You know she can't stand Kenny Galladay. She is true blue there.
While drinking tonic and vodka.
Yeah.
There we
Exactly. Let's see who will unexpectedly come back from the bye on. Wait, she's got 2 questions now. Look, now I got to write down. You guys all in the chat, your questions. Like, Allie's kicking your butt. She came in like at 8:32, and now at 8:41, she has the number 1 and the number 2 question. Let's go. Where's Jake? He said he got ripped off last week with his question. Let's go, people. Step
Bring
up.
the heat, peeps.
Well, she's referring to maybe Galladay for that question because I hope so, but I don't know.
Who
If he's
will
gonna
Mason asked a good question too. Mason just asked a good one.
Where's Mason? Mason's always got good questions.
7 up.
Who leads the team in receiving in the second half of the season? It's got to be Slayton, but I'll write the question down. That's a good question. 8:41, Mason. Listen, right now, as I read you the stats on Slayton, he's on pace, to have his best year as a pro. He's, for a guy who's had the hiccups and the drops, he's played nicely. And by the way, the highlight, I think you'll agree with me, Spartan, here. The highlight of this past weekend was the rips from Jones to Slayton. Like every catch he made was either contested or was a great, rip and run. Like those two look.
That was the best part of the offense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Watching this past week, no doubt.
Exactly. Like so, I was stoked about the fact. And listen, and we can to put a bow on the Robinson thing. Listen, I like him. I want him to do well. He's wearing Giants blue. But as Chris said, like, we hope that when the bye is over, that, like, it is the one. And in truth, listen, I don't think it's going to happen. But if you're right, rock and roll. Like, if Wan'Dale Robinson just outpaces Slayton for the rest of the year,
it's only 6 receptions behind. He's only 6 receptions behind. It's not that much.
Wan'Dale Robinson's catching slants and out tiny little dumps and outs. And
oh yeah, but they all are. Slayton is getting more deep balls, but let's be real, they're all catching little dinky routes.
Yeah, like Slayton's the only guy that's catching balls downfield. So you're right.
Oh yeah, that's not Robinson's style. That's not Robinson's style. He's a short slant, then run with the ball. That's what he did
in college. He wasn't. He went downfield plenty of times in college. Look at some of the stuff he did with
over the middle. He's an excellent.
He had a lot of yards after the catch, Robinson. A lot of yards after the catch.
Lots.
He used to be a running back, so he's good with the ball in his hand.
Yeah.
All right, so I got to put this one up here because Cole's coming in hard with how do we guys feel about Gawinski's play? I see he's been taking some heat from folks online.
Getting better.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think 8:45. Good question, Cole. Putting that down here. So great question. We don't. I'll say this, and you guys can always jump in. I think he started off real rough because I don't think that, I don't know if they get enough snaps in preseason and stuff. But I think his last 2 games have been his best of the year. I think he's slowly figuring out, and then all of a sudden now Neal gets hurt, right? So I think he's learning to play with Bredesen. He's learning to play with Feliciano, right? I think you'll see him get better when Neal comes back because he was just starting to get better. The first 3 games, he looked bad. And I don't know if that's because Neal was bad that made him look bad because Neal had those first 2 games were not great. But great question. All right, bowing it up. Hey, fingers crossed that Robinson does pass up Slayton and that he does it because let's talk about the elephant in the room, guys. I don't know. I know you guys you're different than me. I'm wired to be cynical, I'll give you this soapbox speech and I'll hand it to you guys. At 6-2, a year ago we were 2-6. A year ago later with great coaching and draft picks and free agents, we are now 6-2. To me, it's house money, right? It's like you can afford to make a couple mistakes, guys. Here's the thing. I don't believe in participation trophies, okay? I don't give my kids second place trophies that I coach in lacrosse, football, basketball. I don't give them. The second place team, You didn't win. Okay? Not everybody should get a trophy. Sorry. And that's what it feels like because we are 6-2. We are now considered a good team, right? Things are clicking. The rebuild jumped a whole year ahead. We never thought we would be in this position. Coaches get judged on winning, right? Like, if we're not going to go for it, why just limp into the playoffs and go, hey guys, thanks for inviting us. We'll sit in the back while you real good teams play. Like, I want to go for it. And I didn't want a big splash. I didn't want Judy. I didn't want more. I just wanted a piece because we're throwing for 170 yards a game. And at 170 yards a game, that means that you make a wild card and you're out in the first round. And I'll hand it to you guys with this. The NFC East has, I think, if I can find the stat, like there's like an 80-something, 84% that 2 wild cards are going to come out of the NFC East. Okay? Cowboys and Giants. Right? You don't really have a chance to compete with Sills and James. You just can't compete with 170 yards in the playoffs. You can tell me that the Giants get the Super Bowl at 9-7 and 10-6. That's fine. They had an all-world line. They had all-world receivers like Plaxico Burress.
They were a much better team. Those teams were much better when everybody clicked. They were just inconsistent. We don't have that like very far end of the belt.
There is no Victor Cruz. There's no Hakeem Nicks.
No, we don't.
There's nothing there. So all I wanted, guys, was a piece. I didn't care how small, how big. I don't care if they signed Fuller, who doesn't have a job. I just wanted a piece because we can't win with 170 yards a game. Why go to the playoffs if we're not going to really try to win? We're not.
I have no doubt that he picked up the phone. I have no doubt that Shane picked up the phone today and tried making phone calls and probably just weighed down everything on the line. He went down the list that we all talked about on Twitter. I have no doubt he called for Judy. I have no doubt he called for all the guys that we were talking about. And when he wrote down what the Broncos or whoever these teams were wanting in return, he wrote it down and said, you know what? I don't know. We're a good team, but I can't give up draft capital because we are still rebuilding. We are the best rebuilding team I have ever seen in my entire life. And he probably just looked down. He's like, you know what? None of these guys are future pieces. Yep. We'll have to figure something out.
We just got a bonus, and we weren't even – Tony wasn't even playing. We just got gifted 2 picks. For a guy
again, but it depends on what these other teams were trying to what they were trying to pry. I mean, I did see the Claypool one. I'm like, look, there may have been some opportunity there. Who knows? The Giants may have been in contention there, and at the last second, the Bears offered just a little bit more.
Listen, I didn't want any of those guys. And listen, there are guys without jobs. All I'm saying, Fuller retired. Was that Nicky? Is that true? Did he retire?
He did. I got that as well.
When did that happen?
During the season.
Last week?
During the season, sometime.
Okay. Like I'm just making the point. Thank you, Nicky, because I thought I know like 3 weeks ago he was still looking for a job. I just at 6-2, there's a good chance you win 10, 11 games. But then you go into the playoffs and they go like this.
Oh, yeah. They're not going to contend. But even if they made the trades today for like just that one piece, Craig, I really don't think they're Super Bowl contenders anyway. And don't get me wrong, I get what you're saying. Like, you got to try. It's almost a little sad that
doesn't matter.
But
Mike, you never know when someone gets hot in the playoffs. But I understand that on paper they're not a Super Bowl team. I get it. But my point is that doesn't mean I just show up at the playoffs and get my doors blown off.
I get that. Hey, Neil, LBI, NJ had a great comment there in the comment section. Why don't you pop that up?
I get it.
A lot of commentators were pointing to that as being an issue.
I agree. I understand.
Wait, I don't understand what the cap has to do with the trading deadline today.
You bring a big piece in, you can't afford a big piece.
Yeah,
I think we all agree a big piece wasn't necessary. I wrote an article today about them options, and a lower tier, mid-tier guy under control would not have been a big piece, but he would have given them some depth and some talent. You don't have to. I saw so many things on Twitter today that why trade for somebody if we're not super competitive? That's so stupid. So that is absolutely stupid.
There's a bunch of people in the chat talking about Bachman. So Two things that I could tell you about Bachman. I don't remember if you guys were with me or not, but we interviewed Bachman last year. He was. If you guys are interested at all, if you go to YouTube and you go to the Giants guys, our Alex Bachman interview is up there. It's a great interview. He's a very cool, classy guy. I mean, in real cold, actually said, does Bachman have some kind of beef with the Giants? There's got to be something going on a little bit there because he's been, practice squad played. He did really well for the team at the end of the year. He worked super hard, and then in preseason, what did he do? Rip off 200 yards and 2 touchdowns in that one preseason game? Like he's produced enough to have a job over Ricky James. In the preseason. Chris, you and I were at camp. Ricky James dropped like almost every ball he had, but Ricky James still made the team and Bachman didn't.
Well, Ricky James actually played well in the preseason, but I think he was a victim of the numbers. There was too many slot guys when you added Sterling Shepard, Richie James.
I think your point is why Ricky James and not Bachman? Because Bachman came in from the 49ers and had, and got a contract.
Well, I think Richie James had more of a resume returning punts than Bachman did just a couple times in preseason and last year in regular season, which he did well. But I think it came down to Richie James having more experience. Now, different story. I mean, I don't want Richie James catching punts anymore. I want somebody else back there. Who knows? Maybe they bring him back. Maybe maybe there is an opportunity for him. But
what I was told, Chris, is that he turned down an offer. That the Giants did make him an offer and he turned it down.
But that was for practice squad.
That was for practice squad.
I think he's had it with practice squad, in my opinion. He's probably been here for a few years now in practice squad, moving back and forth. He probably just thought he can catch on with another team and get a fresh start, which hasn't happened. So maybe he revisits that if the Giants were to call him and he does come back.
He's bitter. I don't blame him. Be honest with you.
His wheels here. He never got a shot. Really,
I got to throw this up here because maybe you guys know if there's an update on T.Y. Hilton. Thanks, Joe. Like, what about T.Y. Hilton? T.Y. Hilton probably still's got great hands. Like, it's just a piece, right? Like, why?
What's he asking?
I don't know. I think what is he, like 34? I don't know what his situation is.
What's league minimum now for veterans of that age? I think it's actually pretty significant.
I think it's like 800,000.
Yeah. I think so.
Actually, that's totally doable with what we have with what Nicky put up. I will say this. Let me just say this. Our wide receiver side, like I look down, the obvious goal here and what really needs to happen is the Giants got to win the next 2. Beyond that, it's like, look, Indianapolis, I'm saying get Washington twice. I realize if they just got them once, it's 10 wins. I think they could still do it with the roster we have.
What, win 10 games?
Totally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, listen, don't get me wrong. The Giants can win 10 games with the roster they have. But when you narrow it down to the best 8 teams in the game, the Giants are the worst.
Craig, the nice part about football is there's not a 7-game series. Just get into the playoffs. On any given day, anybody can beat anybody. So I think they're sticking to the script, right? They're not going to, change these draft picks and jeopardize the future, but they're going to stick with this script, the way they've been playing. It's all going to be gut-wrenching down to the end. They're not going to win, by too many points. It's going to come down to that fourth quarter like usual, and they're going to roll the dice.
And I will say, if they can get the Eagles in any of the 2 games, then they can certainly beat anybody in the playoffs. If they can just prove that they can beat the Eagles, then anything's really possible.
Guys get hurt, things change with teams, Absolutely. So you never know.
I agree. I think, like, I'm not being like a naysayer. What I'm just saying is that when you look at the elite teams, okay, we're never elite. We're just scrappy, lucky, and we work hard.
What you're saying is you want the Giants to be in the best position to succeed no matter what the circumstances are, right? And you thought that today, if they had acquired a piece for receiver, then that would have been the best foot forward for the remainder of the year. But again,
I want to reiterate, yes, you nailed that, Spartan, except for the one thing. I'm
a good psychologist. I can read your mind.
Yes, well, that's scary. It's very dark in there. I'm not sure you want to hang out inside my mind very long. My thing, Spartan, was yes. Like, if I go to the playoffs, like I rode the wave with you all season, right? And you go to the playoffs, I want to win. Like, I don't want to just go, hey, thanks, guys. Hey, thanks for the invite. You guys are so nice. Like, I want to win. Like, you want good football. And, and when the Giants are 100% healthy, they're still not as good as Buffalo, Kansas City, Cincinnati. You know what I mean? Like they're just Minnesota. They're still not as good as them because we don't have one player at the wide receiver level that anyone game plans for or is afraid of.
We just don't have the playmakers on offense outside of Barkley.
Yeah.
But hey, we have a good defense for the playoffs. I have no doubt. Like if they catch an offense on the wrong day, if they go in and play Los Angeles like in the first round and as a wild card team, I have no doubt they would win a game like that.
Listen, their defense has to be better in the pass rush. Forget about it.
Well, I'm going to put this up here, and then we can roll into next topic because we were kind of running out of time. I'm going to put this up here because it always makes me feel good, and because it's my show, I'm allowed to do this. Jake said he just joined and scrolled back. Says thank you for saying pressures don't mean crap because they don't. Such as misleading stat. And I hate it. I don't give a crap about pressures. I want to see sacks. It is true right now. As I read to you guys earlier in the show, you know I'll read it again. Dexter Lawrence leads the Giants in sacks with 4. That ranks number 32 in the NFL. Like that's the bottom. Like for an individual player, like we don't finish. And as much as we love Tibbs, you guys were saying defensive player of the year. Hell no, that dude's not winning defensive player of the year. Like now he got hurt.
No.
I mean, you know, he got hurt. I get it. And I really like the player. So I'm not killing the player. I'm saying that, you know, he's going to need a second year, you know what I mean, to be that guy and that finisher. Which
it takes some time, and I have no doubt that he'll develop. He'll develop just fine. He's got the speed, which is what a lot of people don't have. He can totally put on a little bit of muscle.
What's hurting the Giants is that we were depending on Ojulari. Yeah. And, you know, there's some discussion about Ojulari putting on 15 pounds of muscle, and now his frame just can't handle the extra muscle mass. He just can't get on the field because he's got hamstring issues. He's got calf issues. He's got all these issues. So, what is our sack record as a team, Mark? I'll have to look that up.
He's 16.
I was only 16. So 16 total. 4 of the 16, 1/4 of them is Dexter Lawrence.
And just keep in mind, Wink, when he was at Baltimore, he liked generating pressure or sacks from everybody. So that's one of his traits, was trying to create, sacks with a bunch of people, not just one guy. So I don't know what the Giants rank in the NFL. If anybody knows what they're ranked out of 32 teams, I'd be curious.
They've done an effective job of getting random guys in for sacks, like not your typical defensive lineman. I mean, like seeing Micah McFadden get a sack the other day, that was pretty incredible. That was a good play. Same with X-Man, man. Like when they use him to get a sack, it's daylight because nobody's expecting him to rush. He blew up Geno the other day.
He did, and I'm glad he did because he had back-to-back games. He has not had 2 good games back-to-back. He has been off his game. So I'm excited that Love has had 2 good games. You know who's earning? I'm sorry, Belton.
No, I'm going to say who's earning more playing time is Fox. He's doing a great job. That kid.
Good.
Off it, he's not only sealing the edge, he's also pressuring and getting into the quarterback. A couple of tackles behind the line of scrimmage.
Let me take a step back for a second, Michael. You're right. He has been very physical, and I like that he likes mixing it up. Yeah. He's got a little edge to him. I think if I remember correct, Michael, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Lawrence Taylor endorse him?
Yes, he did.
All right, so let me ask you this, and I'll move on. Did any of you? Okay, don't just drink the Kool-Aid, because sometimes you guys are Kool-Aid drinkers. Did any of you want a piece today? Were any of you like? Did any of you want Judy or more? Did any one of you, like Chris? Did you want one?
For a third, I would have taken him. Not for a second, though. For a third, because he's young enough. He's still on his rookie contract. I wanted no part of DJ Moore, which I think he would be due like $17 million next year. So Judy would have been a nice fit for a third.
Truth, did you want a piece today?
Yes, I did. And like Chris, I was thinking of Judy only for a third, maybe, but I was thinking more or less a lower tier, like a kid like Elijah Moore from the Jets or Terrence Marshall from Carolina. Those guys, you could have probably gotten them for a day 3 pick, but they probably weren't available.
Hey, wait a second. Where's Cold? Cold, what do you mean the shampoo? What's up with the shampoo sponsor? What shampoo sponsor?
Show him the drip, man. Show him the flow.
Astroblade Astroflave is a supplement company. Cold. It's protein shakes. It's amino acids. It's for
I'm drinking it.
Yeah, it's for work.
Right.
It's for working out. You know what I
It's
mean?
also a hair. It's also a hair grower. It grows.
Hair
your
tonic.
I'm
Hair
definitely
tonic.
going to drink it then.
Yeah, again, if you're buying protein shakes in a big box store, Cold, it's full of sugar and crap and chemicals, and you're buying it at a big box store and they're ripping you off. Astroflave ships anywhere in the country. I have a discount code I can give you. You can buy anything. Look, Chris is all jacked. He uses it all the time. He's all jacked. I use it as a meal replacement because I can't crush plates like Chris does anymore because I'm all broken and old. So I use it as a meal replacement. But I was showing you the amino acids here. So I don't know if he's serious or he just thinks I should get a shampoo sponsor because you guys are making fun of my hair.
I think that's what he's trying to do.
Yeah, it says Nikki's killing me. She says Craig is an old school herbal essence commercial. I can see it. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Tuto says, "What's up, Tuto?" He says, "I wouldn't trade Richie James for a pack of gum." Yeah, listen. There is an element of, I hate to say it, Nikki's going to freak when I say it. You really kind of have to hope that Galladay, gets healthy. Oh, it was a joke. Thanks, Cole. That Galladay gets healthy and actually contributes, right? And
yes, absolutely.
I mean,
He's going to do it.
Spartan, help me with this. He's a 50-50 guy. So why not throw 8 balls at him? He'll catch 4.
Who's
so
that?
when he's on the field, why don't they throw
Galladay.
Galladay?
Yeah, 50-50, right? All right. If you're throw to him 3 downs out of 3, 50% shot. He should should be moving the ball forward one way or another eventually, right?
Yeah, I just don't get it. I hope he comes back because he's stealing money like crazy. He keeps saying he wants to be part of the team.
Hey, Craig and everybody.
Yeah.
Maybe the problem was he was hanging around Tony too much. Maybe now that Tony's gone, he'll actually do something. You know what I mean? Maybe they were.
Well, you know what? That happened earlier in the week, and we didn't really even cover. I'll run through this real quick. Truth, are you happy that he's gone, or were you satisfied with what they got in return? Like, what's your quick take on Tony?
A quick take is yes on both of those questions. He wasn't helping the team. I'm not there. Heard his attitude wasn't very good. So, hope he does well. We don't need him. We're 6-2 without him.
Chris, he's been on Twitter all week long going at it with Giants fans, showing his maturity. What do I make of this? Because you know what's going to happen, Chris. He's got an axe to grind. He's healthy. He's going to go out there and he's going to have this awesome game on Sunday. He's going to have an awesome game on Sunday, and he's going to be like, "See, I'm awesome. Look at me!" And all the Giants fans are going to melt down. Right?
Yeah, I mean,
oh yeah.
Good for him, but the way his injury history, even going back to Florida, it's hard for him to stay healthy. But his immaturity, he comes from the DeAndre Baker, the Eli Apple, and the Tony, immaturity group there. I mean, those 3 guys, all draft picks, and they are kind of the same the way they acted when they were here.
All first round picks, by the way. All first round picks.
So, I mean, how long are you going to wait for this guy, right? I'm surprised we even got a 3rd for him. So, it's all right. Good luck to him, but we got to move on.
Spartan,
that's right.
Give me your shot on Tony.
Look, I trust the staff where they say, look, this kid does not have what it takes to succeed in the NFL. And you know what's such a shame is when you see somebody who's like so gifted like that and went through so much already to get there. And because of other reasons, you don't succeed. Like, dude, how do you not care once you get to the NFL level? I really just always kind of question like whether he was really in it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can say what they want about Odell. That dude worked his ass off. He had the work ethic, of probably the best of any receiver I had seen in the last 10 years. He really had it. He had that motor. He had that want to play.
Odell wanted to be great.
He wanted to be great. I don't think Tony cared to be great. I think he cared about his brand a little bit, but that was it. Yeah, I mean, Odell spun himself out of control trying to be, international superstar and great and the spot. But you're right. He worked extremely hard. He was extremely talented. He wanted to be great. I never got a feeling one time that Tony
That he-
cared
that
to
he
be that
wanted to be
guy. That
great.
he was going to put that step forward. Like he was going to make the other people around him work hard. He wasn't that kind of guy.
Yeah, Colt says, let Tony go be another bad rapper. He didn't want to play. Like, I don't even, you know what? Listen, here's the thing. I want to make sure people understand. Like, I mean, like, I like old school hip hop. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know a lot of new rap. My son's 14. Maybe he likes it. I don't want to kill him for his music because I don't listen to it, and I don't know where the motivation comes from. So whether he's good or he's bad at music doesn't change my thought process in it never felt like he wanted to be an NFL player and be great. Mm-hmm. It was more like, I'm already great. I've arrived, and this is all I need to do. Yeah. So if that was musically inclined, if the rap got in the way, I don't know. So I don't want to open my mouth and put my foot in it because I don't know. But at the end of the day, and you're right, Patel, he is too thin-skinned. He's letting everybody get all over him, and he is a little bit of a clown. But at the end of the day, Spartan just said, like, he's a wicked talented guy. I mean, he could have been great, but he just, Ali says the same thing, just a little bit of an entitled type of approach. Like, I've arrived. I don't need to do anything anymore. So I'm super excited that we got those picks for him, no doubt.
Yeah, this is going to be the last time.
Guys that go from high school to college, and they don't bring like if they're so much better than everybody at the high school level, they think, oh, I don't have to do anything here. I'm a top recruit. They fail out. Happens in the NFL too. Oh, I balled out in college. You know, I am already better than everybody else. You know, I'll just kind of coast at this level, and then I should be fine.
See, Mason, I can't agree with the Ocho Cinco thing. Yeah, maybe from a crazy crackpots, way. But Chad Johnson balled in Cincinnati. He balled. Okay, yes, when he got to, just like Terrell Owens too, but when Chad got to New England, he was off his rocker at that point. But he balled. I mean, we didn't get anything out of Tony except for 4 games, and that's not enough. Like, everybody just needs to stop defending this guy, and he's so immature. He's online fighting with fans.
You'll never win.
Let me tell you something. This is not going to be the last time we're going to hear about Tony injuries and issues on Twitter when he's with Kansas City. It's going to be an ongoing saga.
He's going to have 2 great games with Kansas City over the next 2 weeks, and he's going to go right back to what he's doing right now.
I don't think he's going to play a lot next 2 weeks because he's got to learn the playbook. He has a hard time with that.
All right. Let's make sure people know 2 things, because I also got in a debate with a guy this week over Andy Reid. Andy Reid's a great coach. He's won 1 Super Bowl. They chased him out of Philadelphia, people. Okay, I live in South Jersey, right outside of Philadelphia. I worked for CBS Sports for a whole tons of years. They chased Andy Reid out of town, okay? So, he is a great offensive-minded coach, and he will do some cool stuff with Tony. It just, you can't melt down over the next 2 weeks when you see the guy have 80 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns, or 120 yards, receiving and a touchdown. You can't
tweeting
melt
his
down.
ass off at Giants Nation, mouthing off to all of us, saying, "I told you so."
Yeah, because you know what? We already know that he was at the height. New York Giants, New York City, everything he had right there in front of him, and he chose to not give a shit. So I don't feel any remorse for that. And Patel said he got in that fight in that Dallas game. Yeah, I just I don't have any love lost for Tony. All right, guys. One is the store is open. You can go to nygiantsrush.com. You can buy hoodies, you can buy mugs, you can buy phone cases, all sorts of cool stuff you get up there. You can get all this Astro Flave. Look, these shakers. Listen, Mike likes to do this. Right? Astro Flave. It's a kick. It is really a sick shaker. We got this is called the Jawless. David out in Kentucky bought 3 hoodies last night. Which was super cool. Yeah. So look.
Nice. I love that skull, man.
Yeah. So we've got the store is open. All sorts of cool stuff up in there. If you want phone cases, it's got, we got the phone case. I have mine on the front. If you can see it, I have the skull right there. All right. So you guys can all, yes, Nikki, we do have cool merch in the store. I'm going to put her up there. And of course, every year I also make a new logo for you cats because you guys like something new. So I'm going to be unveiling a new logo over the next couple of weeks. Every year we make new. As long as the skull's rocking the earphones, you know it's Rush and the Rush family. Oh, look she wants a navy one. So Allie made sure she came on with great questions because she's like, I want that shirt. She already said, I want that shirt, and then I think maybe it was Casey or one of the other girls were like, I want that shirt. She's like, no, I want that shirt. So we're gonna make sure we get you guys out those prize packs this week. Guys, talk to me about what you need to see, bye week wise. What are you hoping these 2 weeks off? Truth, I'll start with you, and then we'll wrap it up. What do you need to happen the next 2 weeks?
Just guys getting healthy. That's my main thing. That's what I want to see.
Spartan?
Better offensive game plan for what they got right now. Figure it out. I know that was a poor performance. I know we're short on wide receivers, but I think they can come up with a better game plan than what they did against Seattle. Don't lose the next 2 games.
Go ahead, Chris. What do you want?
I have complete faith in Kafka, Dable, all the coaches to self-scout. Listen, to self-scout the first half of the season and go through what's working well, what they got to scrap, and what new creative, formations plays they need to incorporate going into the second half of the season. So Kafka's creative, right? And so is Dable. So I think we're going to be in for some new stuff going into the second half. And like Mike said, got any hope of the playoffs, got to take care of business with Texans and Lions.
Yeah, I'm going back to what I wrote today on nygiantsrush.com. If you folks can go check that out. There's plenty of content up there. There's all our interviews. If you guys don't know, we usually interview a Giant player every single month. Last month we interviewed Lawrence Tynes, and we've done Jake Ballard and Chase Blackburn and Dominic Hickson, Dan Orlovsky, Kurt Warner. So we interview some kick-ass guests. I'm working on a couple of them now, so they're not easy to get. So I am working on a new couple interviews. Zane's working on a couple interviews. So, one, thanks for tuning in another episode of the Giants Guys. The store is open, nygiantsrush.com for all the articles. And Truth is banging out a coach's corner pretty much like 9 times a day. So there's like 100 articles up there. I really can't get Chris or Spartan actually right. I don't know if they know how to write. So.
I am illiterate.
I'll have one soon.
Exactly. So, I appreciate everybody. We got, Tuto, Real Cold. The NY Giants 2020, though, it's killing me. They're killing me. We got that's just killing me.
His name's Mark. He said his name's Mark.
Mark. Yep.
Mark is killing me. I see Sarah's in here, Allie, of course, and Patel, Mason, Joe. I see all you guys in here.
Appreciate
Mark.
you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, you guys have just been great. Guys, so I got Mason's got a great question at 8:41. We're gonna vote on it right now, guys. Unless you saw another one at 8:41. Cold came in really strong. Let me scroll up to it at 8:41. It was, where is Cold? 8:41. I'm looking. Hang on. Oh. When this has got to be it here, right? When Kenny Galladay was healthy, he couldn't sniff plants. No, that's not it. Where is it? Where is it?
3 hours later.
Yeah, exactly. Let me see what this one here is. Okay, so this was Allie's. Who will unexpectedly come back from the bye week on fire and ready to take it up a notch? Well, that's definitely going to be Wan'Dale Robinson, but that was a great question that she gave us at 8:41. Then right after that, I was pretty sure that I had another one in here. Why can't I find it?
Allie had 2. I know that.
Yeah, your other one was at 8:32. Oh, here Mason is. Who leads the team in receiving? It was Mason, not Cold. It was Mason, and here it is. Here, who leads the team in receiving the remainder of the season? Catches, yards, touchdowns. Great question.
Different guys. Well, 3 different guys will.
Yeah. You're gonna have Wan'Dale Robinson with catches, Slayton with yards, and
touchdowns.
Well, I thought it would have been Bellinger, but the poor guy. And by the way, for the record, I did talk to his dad just yesterday. He is on the path to recovery.
Good.
His eyesight seems to be intact, and it will improve as it goes. And he gave his thumbs up for all the prayers and well wishes. So Dan is on the recovery trail. And the other question was also Allie, because she came, she left work early.
Yeah, she came prepared, man.
She came prepared. Yeah, she told me she was going to come prepared. I was kind of like, come on.
Hey, Greg, real quick with Bellinger. Prediction, the first catch at MetLife, standing ovation, guaranteed.
Yeah, I would listen. The fans,
Yeah.
We're not the only ones. Yes, we did interview him, and we automatically hit it off with the guy and his dad, right? And Ryan Dunleavy, even the post, we were all kind of doing that thing. I'm with you, Chris. I think the fans really, really like Bellinger, and how hard he's been working. So, yeah, man, that would be cool. So touchdowns, I was going to say Bellinger, but I'd have to go Barkley with touchdowns because he's already got. What he got? What he got? 6?
6.
Something like that. I think Slayton will probably lead in receiving yards, and then
agreed.
I'm going to go with Wan'Dale with catches.
All right. So, and then at 8:32, Allie says, "Where's Allie's first one?"
I thought I heard you say 8:45 on one of them.
8:32, 8:41. So this is it here. So per each of you, who's your biggest surprise player of the first half and why? Well, for me, I'll just say it's Slayton. Who knew that Slayton was going to ball like he is, and he's having a great year? Guys, you want to answer that real quick?
First half of the season? Someone else can go. I'll go last.
Go ahead, Spartan.
Jones, I'll say it once and for all. Jones, I am eating my word with the fork. Not last week. There's some questionable plays, but this season's been unbelievable from him.
Chris, you got a surprise player?
Since Mike said Jones, I'm going to go with Adoree Jackson. We all knew he was good, but man, he's playing like lockdown. So I'm going to go with Adoree.
Go ahead, Truth. Give me your surprise player.
Well, I was going to go with Love. I did not think Julian Love would be an everyday safety. I thought he would have issues the first year, but he's proved me wrong. He's having a great year.
Like I said, on the way to 115 tackles. All right, so is it Allie or is it Mason?
I gotta go. I'm gonna go with Allie. I think she came looking at pad. Sorry, Mason.
Allie gets. Nikki says Allie gets the shirt for sure. You're just rolling with girl power, is what you're doing over there. Thanks, Nikki Superstar. All right. My vote's Allie. What do you got, Spartan?
I'm gonna go with Mason so that he doesn't feel bad.
Chris.
Oh boy, pressure's on Chris.
No, they were both good. I'll go with Allie.
All right, Allie, you are the winner of this week's swag from the Giants Rush store. I already know which one you want because you've already told me. I might have to get your size because I don't know what size that I have that I ordered, but I'll get your size. Send that to you, and that's compliments of Crypto Freeze if you guys aren't following him.
That one's going to California, if I'm not mistaken. Craig, man, you're getting smacked these shipping fees. You got Mark in the Caribbean a couple weeks ago. You got Allie in California.
Yeah.
Do we have any fans in the New York metro area, or do we all just live all over the place?
You guys live all over the place, and you kill me because I got to spend like $2,000 every year to ship all your stuff out. But that's okay. You know what I mean? I really appreciate it. Hey, we couldn't do it without Astroflave. We couldn't do it without you guys.
Thank you.
If you're working out, please try the Astroflave. Give it a shot. I mean, it really does taste fantastic. And of course, I've got some other sponsors that are going to be rolling in soon. I got a coffee company that's on the burner, and I got some other stuff I'm working on. So appreciate all the love you guys have given us. And honestly, since the Giants have won, we've had more fun doing the show than we've had in a long time. So next week, we are taking a bye next week. So we are off. No Giants, guys, unless these guys decide to do a show without me. I'm taking the week off. These guys want to do a show, they can. You also are going to have the Truth and Spartan. They do their draft shows. That's all coming up. Maybe, and there's going to be.
All right, let me just say this. Me and Truth, we're going to have a quarterback show every year or every few weeks here because we thought, Jones may not have panned out and may be a worthwhile discussion. Postponed, and me and Truth haven't even talked about it since.
No need to.
I'll leave you with this. I jumped into a Twitter space today. I wish I hadn't. All they did was trash Jones, and I was literally like, "What are these people watching? Like, Oh, what game are these people? These people, that's all they talked about, how great Fields was and how bad Jones was. I am like, I'm living in an alternate world. Like, it's not happening.
Goldfish memory, man.
Yeah, exactly. All right, thanks for tuning in another episode of the Giants, guys. Don't forget, you can get this on Spotify, Amazon Music, Stitcher, Apple Pods, Google, in case you're on the treadmill, working out, walking a dog, chasing after your kids, taking a walk, or if you're Chris, you're cranking plates and all that stuff, and you're popping in the earbuds, right? You're putting these guys in. You can get the Giants guys on all those channels. Please hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Bing, bing, bing. It helps the show out. Thank you very much. And we're OUT out. Peace.
Later, boys.
Peace out.